Alright, how's it going, folks? This is Rational Panda.
Hello.
Well, I had something else planned for my next video, but then this video, this little gem, came to my attention, so I decided to rearrange my schedule a little
Crikey.
bit. It's Pastor Greg Locke,
Look at that.
and he's at it again. Let's check it out.
Panda.
Okay, so this video is pretty short. It's only 96 seconds long, so I'm just gonna let it run and respond afterwards, okay? So here goes. Let's see what Pastor Locke has to say.
Hey guys, Pastor Greg Locke here.
That's
So
it.
often people say, what if you're wrong
What?
about this whole Jesus situation? What if you're wrong about really needing a Savior? What if you're wrong about God? Well, let me ask you this. What if I am? You see, if there is no heaven, if there is no hell, if the Bible is nothing more than a book of fanciful fairy tales, then when I die and I've lost nothing. But if Jesus is the only way to heaven, and if heaven and hell are real, and if you do have to make a choice as to whether you receive Jesus or not, then when you die, if that's true, then you've lost everything. You see, you can argue with me about a lot of things. You can argue about prophecy, you can argue about biblical accuracy, scientific accuracy, the historical nature of the Bible. You can argue about a lot of things, but there's one thing you can never argue with, and that's what I know to be true, that Jesus did in me nearly 27 years ago. You say personal experience is not important. Personal experience is everything. So at the end of the day, if I'm wrong, I've really lost nothing. I've enjoyed my life, helped a lot of people, stirred up some controversy, and I go to the ground and rot. But if you're wrong, hell's real. Hell's hot. There's a holy, righteous God with whom you have to deal.
Crikey.
So if I'm wrong, I've lost nothing. If you're wrong, you've lost everything. And I'm here to tell you, Jesus is not a way to heaven. He's the one and only way to heaven. You need a Savior. His name is Jesus. So if there is no God, no harm, no foul. If there is a God, then you're in a heap of trouble.
Okay, well, here's my short answer. Oh, shiver me timbers.
Crikey.
Whoa,
Hello.
what was
That's
that?
it. Kiss my ass.
Have you bended over?
Look at that.
Well, there's a lot here. It's short, but it's loaded, so let's try and unpack this. So, he starts off saying that so many people ask him, what if God and Jesus, is not true? What if he's wrong about that? But here's the thing. I seriously doubt any atheist is saying anything like this to him because it assumes Pascal's wager. And as far as I can tell, every atheist I've ever heard of understands how Pascal's wager fails. In fact, it fails on every level. So here's the thing. First of all, it assumes a false dichotomy that there's either atheism or Christianity. Well, this is the arrogance of Christianity, assuming that they're the only correct religion and that, Yahweh is the only God that actually exists. Okay? But if you're trying to convince an atheist to your side of to your pasture, um, I can't even say to your side of the fence because that also would assume a false dichotomy. But here's the thing: if you're trying to convince an atheist of 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 Christianity, then you got to understand where the atheist is coming from, and that you're only one possibility among thousands of religions. One possibility of a great many. It's not a dichotomy. Pascal himself made this mistake as well when he came up with his little wager, and it goes, well, if Christianity is wrong, then it's just like the pastor said. If Christianity is wrong, then then there's you die, we all die, and that's it, and nobody's hurt. But if the atheist is wrong, then they go to hell, and we're in a whole lot of trouble, like the pastor said. But here's the thing: from the atheist point of view, which is the person you're trying to convince, what if we're both wrong and we die and go before Allah and He's the true God, and then now we're both in trouble and going to Muslim hell? You know, you got to think about these things because I mean, what if we're both wrong? And what if Christians, atheists, and Muslims are wrong, and the neo pagans got it right, and Zeus is the true god? Now we're gonna get fried by Zeus because we believed in the wrong god. It's just ridiculous. This is why Pascal's wager fails on every level. Not to mention the fact that, well, here's the thing. Pascal's wager doesn't actually prove anything. You still, it's just an irrelevant what if. You still have to demonstrate your God. Okay, just because you say, well, what if I'm wrong? That doesn't mean anything. Your personal experience doesn't mean anything, regardless of what you say, because it doesn't. It was meaningful to you. I grant you that. I totally acknowledge that something you experienced something, but you have no way of making that connection and demonstrating causality that it really beyond you experience something, you can't attribute it to anything unless you demonstrate that. um, and then you say you haven't lost anything, but what about lost time, and all the time and energy that you put into um, this belief. What about all the money that you spent? How many hundreds of thousands of dollars have you given to churches and things in the name of your belief? So you can't really say that you haven't lost anything. Well, and here's the biggest problem with Pascal's wagers is belief, contrary to popular opinion of most Christians, it seems, is not an act of will, it's an obligate condition of being convinced. If I'm not convinced, I can't believe it. Okay? So to take Pascal's wager like that and say, okay, well, I'm just going to believe Christianity just to be safe, so because if it's true, I don't want to end up in hell, if Christianity is true. Well, there's a bigger problem with that as well, is that according to how Christianity typically defines God, he knows what I'm thinking. He knows what I believe. He knows the thoughts and intents of my heart. And if I start pretending to believe, even if I don't, he's going to know. And that's incredibly dishonest and does me no good anyway. I'll still go to hell because deep down inside I didn't actually believe, I was just acting like it. So it still makes no sense. So that's basically all I really have to say about all that. So, you know, thanks for watching, to my viewers. If you like, what you see, give me a thumbs up, and if you don't, well, be honest and give it a thumbs down, right? Whatever. If I'm off base, if I'm on point, let me know in the comments. Um, Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you get notifications. Share this video on any social media you might have. That would help me a lot. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Matane.
Oh, yeah! What?